to God. This service that you perform is not only supplying the needs of the Lord's, but of the Lord's people, but is also overflowing in many expressions of thanks to God. Because of the service by which you have proved yourselves, others will praise God for the obedience that accompanies your confession of the gospel of Christ. And for your generosity is sharing with them and with everyone else. And in their prayers for you, their hearts will go out of you because of the surpassing grace God has given you.
So,
Second Corinthians,
yeah, that's okay. Just go ahead.
2 Corinthians 9, 6 to 14.
Yeah. They have freely scattered their gifts to the poor. Their righteousness endures forever. And I just wanted us to encourage each other as maybe a parting shot as we wind up the class today on leadership, that let us go out there and sow generously so that we may reap plenty. And it says that when you give freely, God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. I'm just impressing upon all of us in this class to be generous givers. Maybe our next reader can pick this, the truths about Christian giving.
Hello, Dr. I can
Go ahead.
go on and read that.
Yeah, Odero.
It's Shaban.
Oh, it's Shaban. Just go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Truths about Christian giving. Paul uses a gauge for the maturity of our faith that tends to make us uncomfortable. Whether we express love for fellow believers in material ways, we might prefer to keep our money and our spiritual formation separate, but Paul doesn't that option. He makes it clear our generosity systems from our devotion to Christ, and that if we truly love Christ, it will be shown in the financial support of fellow Christians. Here are three truths we need to remember about Christian giving. One, giving is expected. The idea that giving of our finances is optional is completely foreign to the teachings in the New Testament. Jesus expected that his disciples would give to the poor. See Matthew 6, verse 2. Paul also makes it clear that giving is a sign of our love for Jesus. Giving is therefore a sign of our obedience and expression of our willingness to love others in the church.
Yes.
Number two, giving should be proportional. We are expected to give in accordance with what God has given us. Paul says, if the willingness is there, the gift is acceptable according to what one has, not according to what one does not have. 2 Corinthians 8:12. And in his first letter to the Corinthians, he said, each one of you should set aside a sum of money in keeping with your income. 1 Corinthians 16:2. This means at least two things, says Ligon Duncan. Since we are all supposed to give proportionately, those who have more money are expected to give more. We who are particularly blessed materially must remember this. And second, the Lord never asks us to give what we do not have or contribute beyond our means. Third, giving must be done willingly. Paul says, each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians 9:7. We are expected to give and expected to give willingly. Again, our grieving is a matter of love of Christ. If we love Jesus, we'll give cheerfully to our brothers and sisters who are in need. The practical takeaway, Christians are expected to give cheerfully and willingly as a sign of our love for Christ.
Yes. This is just a point of reflection or inflection on our part. And if I go to the Quran, I'll find the same instruction about giving and supporting the vulnerable in society. So giving is expected of us, and giving should be proportionate and not deceptive, not for show. And giving must be done willingly. And I want us to reflect on this, particularly Apostle Paul. We might prefer to keep our money and our spiritual formation separate, but Paul doesn't give us that option. He makes it clear our generosity stems from our devotion to Christ. And if we truly love Christ, it will be shown in the financial support of fellow Christians, psychological support of fellow Christians, social psycho support. So it doesn't have to be money. But I just want to ask the class, take your mind to your wardrobe. And I'm talking to a middle class here. That's why you are pursuing further studies. How many items are in those wardrobe that you have not used for the last 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? I've been struggling with that personally. You find you have a whole wardrobe full of clothes and shoes and everything else, and yet you have not even fellow Christians, you have your relatives who have hardly anything to put on. And it is a big struggle that if we are open, most of you would say, yes, Prof. I think you're right. We have excess of things and we just don't want to give them. I have gone to change tires for my vehicles, and then I still carry the old tires in the boot, and you take them home and you throw them in the garage or somewhere, and they waste away. But you know, if you had allowed that person to buy those tires, whatever amount he would give you, you could use that money to support a children's home. So there are things we do, and you ask, where is the spirit of giving? And I've defined my giving. It's not deceptive giving, it is authentic giving. And I thought we would just, as leaders, reflect on this a little. So the other day, I was taking seed to my farm, mbegu za maharagwe. I want to plant about 10 acres of beans. So I bought seed. One of my students, or one of my PhD students, works with a seed company, so they gave me a good discount. And yesterday I sent my driver to the farm with the seed. But then I went, as I was leaving my bedroom, I looked at the wardrobe, and the wardrobe is packed with clothes. Some I've not worn for 5 years. So I asked my housekeeper to bring the suitcase, one of the suitcases, and we loaded in those clothes. And I want to go home, not December, no. God willing, I want to go home tomorrow. My heart is in that area. I want to go home. I want to sit down and pack those clothes and then, label them, string them, and label them and give them to people who would really cherish a good sweater or a good jacket or a pair of shoes that are just sitting here and I'll never use them. I want us to react to this briefly. It's part of leadership, and then we will go. We just have one topic. That's why I was not impatient with those coming late to wind up, and then Dr. Marker will tell us the assessment for this course, and this is our last class. So, can I have some reaction to this? Start with your wardrobe. Particularly the ladies, I would like to know how many of you are Imelda Marcos in this gathering? I'm waiting. So, any participation here on giving? Yes, Agnes Gikunda, thank you for starting us off. And then Peter Kilani. Let's go, Agnes.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Professor, for this opportunity.
Yes.
Actually, I really thank God because I realized during December holidays, I had so many clothes of my son since he was young. And some he had outgrown. He's a big boy now, 16 years old. But there were clothes of as old as 5 years when he was 5 years. So during the holiday, we decided to go and visit some family in Dagoretti. And I really thank God because the art of giving also gives you the joy, the fulfillment, the happiness. So the time, when we gave the clothes to the children in Dagoretti, they were really happy, they really appreciated, and at the end of the day, we were really happy, we felt appreciated, we felt good that we were able to give. So there's a fulfilling that comes in you when you give. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. My contribution is that personally, I've also I've been checking my wardrobe, the clothes that I've not been wearing for some time. Just call the neighbors and donate them just freely. And then I also do some farming. When I get some maize, I just come to the village, identify the people who are needy, and just give them. So I think from my end, I can say that when you are a giver, God is always there to open many doors for you. I've personally witnessed that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Peter, for that revelation. I forgot to add that my driver, Nicholas, I told him, as you go home, as you drop the seed and the suitcase, I'll come and arrange myself. Go to the maize store and bring 3 bags of maize and take them to a school for vulnerable children in Ziwani today. There's a bishop, Mama there, who is running that school. at Ziwani. I don't know the name of the school, but I was there one time for some function. So I said, take that maize there. And the maize was delivered today. And the prayer that the bishop gave touched me. I mean, for them, that maize is really something. So we are talking about giving, and I want us to encourage each other as we wind up this course, leadership course. One of the big things you have to learn is to give generously and genuinely. John.
Thank you very much, Prof, for this opportunity. As you're speaking, and I don't think I give enough, because if I look at the wardrobe, just like you said, and even if I look at my house, and many times when you think that you don't have enough, when you actually look at it, and you ask yourself, when is the last time that I used this particular item? You discover that you probably did not even need it in the past, in the first place. And so I think, thank you for that reminder. It links with and sometimes it's easy to think this as a far-fetched idea. Uh, Recently, and I think that was this week, there was an announcement that there's going to be a reduction in the funds that are located in the, dealing with the tuberculosis in Kenya. And on the other side, there was the demand that, and I think it's the deputy president or the president office that requires, additional funds, and part of it was for hospitality. And as you're just thinking about that contradiction, that there's this reduction and there's this increase, elsewhere, and it's easy to think of it as an idea that's far out there. But when we apply this in our lives,
Yeah.
then we are able to make our impact within our sphere of influence. And it is that wardrobe it's that cloth in your wardrobe. It's that extra energy that you have that you could devote to teaching some children a particular skill. Is that energy that you could use to spend time with someone. Sometimes it's just that shoulder to lean on, that listening ear that you need. There's so many opportunities for us to avail ourselves. Some of them actually are effortless, because the gifts and the resources and the skills have already been given to us by the Almighty God. And all we need is not to be obese with them, but to channel them out, because anything that we are given is supposed to, it's just like the readings that we're having on Draka, that if it's not impacting society, then it is as good as meaningless. And so I think it's good that you brought up the challenge this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Sylvester?
Thank you so much, Bob, for this session and this topic. Wow. When it comes to giving, it always touches me so much. I remember even this week, I was just talking with my wife, and I was like, we were just discussing about giving, and I was like, I remember I told her, like, when you look at yourself and you find like there's no one even around you that you can give out something to her or him, or even there's no one who is approaching even to ask you for some help, then you must check yourself or your life very well. There must be something. And one principle that I always know, I always apply the biblical stuff a lot of the times. It started with God. He gave us his only son. So that's one attribute that I always capture it. And one thing that has always stood out for me is I always know when I give, the word of the Lord stands out. And it has always been true that when we give, we're lending to God. When you give to the poor, you give out of the heart. You don't give to show. Where the Bible says that when you're giving, let not your left hand or your right hand knows what the left hand is doing. And I think that's one thing that it's a key that many people, as you're talking right now and asking how many in our wardrobes, we have things that we're just keeping them, and at the end of it all, you find like they're just there, and there's someone outside there that needs it. Yeah. And I've come to learn, and I've always desired that it's better I give out of myself, knowing that God's gonna do it. I don't know how, but I always know that He's gonna do it. I can give, for example, there's a time I just done my wedding, and I had worn my suit for the first time. I just wore it during the wedding day, and that was it. And then I was prompted, I was just attending somewhere, a place, and then I was prompted, like, just take this suit and just go and give it. So for me, I didn't tell my wife. I just took the suit, packed it the way it was. I just wore that suit one day, just the wedding day only. And then I took it. I went that place. And then when guys were giving, I was like, okay, this is all I have. So what can I do? Let me give it out. And my wife came and asked me, okay, hey, where's your suit? I was like, I just gave it out. And I remember from that day up to now, I've realized for me, even getting a suit like is nothing to me. In fact, I always give them most of the time. I buy them, I give them. And when I want one, they just come. And I've realized when we do that, we plant a seed that cannot be taken away from us. Thank you so much.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Very encouraging. Obura, and if we can take 2 minutes each so that we move. Yeah. Charles.
Oh, thank you, Professor. I just wanted to concur and reiterate what Mr. Sylvester said about intentionality in giving. And I was reflecting on something, and I said, if you are giving, let it be a thoughtful decision that one should make in one's mind, so that the way Mr. Sylvester is saying, if I give, let the right hand not know what the left hand is doing. And there's a scripture in Luke 6:38 that say that there's a promise blessings for those who give. And under this principle, you say that it communicates a lot about generosity, and it creates a circle of blessings, so that if we instill or we plant this art of giving, then we'll just be undergoing through a circle of blessings in our life, and everything will just come. Thank you for this, and it's really, really touching.
Thank you. Violet, then Lois, then Jacqueline.
Thank you so much, Prof. When I was listening to this topic and just looking at the giving and how God expects us to give, one person who really brought the culture of giving in my life is my mom. So we could stay at home, and our home was always full with different relatives, and she could take them to school, and some even we didn't know. So when he passed on, and a boy came almost 25 years and told me, "You didn't tell me Madam has died." And I'm like, "I even don't know you." And then he told me he educated me my whole high school life, and also in college. Each time I missed maybe I wanted pocket money, he used to give. So one day my gardener just told me his brother had passed, and he class 8, and he didn't have a fee. And he had been called to a very, very good school. So the only option was for him to go to a day school. And then we just talked, and then I talked to a few friends who we helped him buy the Form 1 stuff, everything. Then from there, we just educated him until he finished. And I was so happy last year. He had graduated at KU with 2nd class in Bachelor of Commerce.
Yeah.
And he's doing great for himself, and I know he'll do great for his family. So one thing I've learned with giving is you can never outdo God in giving. And when you give, the people you give to will not help you, but in your situation of need, God raises other people who stand in the gap, and you will never lack. That is one blessing God says He will multiply and you'll never lack. And then the issue of hoarding things, I think I thank God I don't do. Like when my kids outgrow, I give. When I was in maternity and I had my clothes after I finished giving birth, I gave away. So I think you have to be intentional in that and just always be checking, do I really need this? I don't need it. Give it away. If you have that culture of giving away, it is not hard. But sometimes someone goes to the wardrobe, he thinks, this one, I think I can wear it during Christmas. Then Christmas gets there and you don't. So, but if you intentionally take it out of that wardrobe, put it away, you'll develop that culture and you'll never be holding tight to things. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful reflections. Lois Osumba, 2 minutes. Jacqueline, you say 2 minutes.
Thank you, Professor. I can say a lot about giving. I have so many testimonies, but I just want to thank God tonight. I am married to a husband who is such a giver. He taught me how to give. And I remember we have lived with people in just our small levels of financial status. And that's why I say we don't give out of abundance, but out of love. And so I remember when our firstborn daughter was joining Form 1, there's a lady in the US, when she was praying somewhere in the mountain, God told her to take my daughter from Form 1 to Form 4. Everything, from her shopping to her school fees. When you were going to visit, she would send fare. Imagine, from Form 1 to Form 4. You never go wrong with giving. I never say that maybe I don't have anything to give. It's not out of abundance. It's out of love. Today in the office, this week we had been instructed that no one is sitting, no student, people is sitting for the end term exam unless they've cleared. But there's this girl, she's so needy. So today I was just there and my heart was so down. And I said, let me take care of this girl. I was told to send her home. Then I went and I called other staff and I told them, we can do something about this. Let's just raise some 50, 100 and we clear these school fees. And they were so optimistic. And if they even had this idea that every month we'll be having a kitty where we'll be raising money just to stand with the needy children. You never go wrong with giving. And God is the best giver. He gave his only begotten Son. Let us give and give. God bless you. Thank you so much. You've just added wood to my fire. God bless you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Lois.
Yeah, and thank you. Good evening, Professor. Good evening, my
you.
Yeah, I'm also very delighted this evening because of this topic, because of this subject, because most of the time, people think that when you give, you lose. But as the others who have spoken before me have said, I came to realize that anytime you give, you benefit. Actually, I came to know that verse is very real. So I have many examples to give, but I will only cite two. One happened just this year. Where we live, we have a community of less privileged around us. And so there's a certain woman who has 9 children. And I realized that anytime they are in need, they come to knock at my house. They want some assistance. So I do farming, and I would give them, or I usually give them vibaruas to do in the shamba. But I realized that when she comes to do the vibarias kwa majirani, she comes alone. But when she's coming to my house, she comes with all her children. And then I don't count it loss giving them food. And at the end of the day, I pay her dues. And then after that, I even put some food in a bag, some maize or beans, so that they can go and cook. So I realized that my shamba is always very clean, because sometimes she can even come to my shamba and do the work even when I don't know, because she attributes that to the good that I do to them. So sometimes this year she brought another lady now whose daughter had not reported to grade 10, and the other children had not even reported to school. And then she wanted me to give them, okay, I was doing a small business of selling books and stationeries. So she has brought this lady so that I can give her books and school materials. And then it was during that time of rush, the January rush. And then she told me that if you fail to assist this lady, the only time the children will go back to school is when she gets money, maybe in May. So I sat down and I just decided to give her the stationery to go to school and just wait until the day she will bring the money to me. She promised to pay me, of course, and of which she came to do in the month of February. But what surprised me is that I did sales that I had not even imagined that I could do in that season. And so I was asking myself, if I had withheld this good for these children, what benefit would I have gotten, or what benefit would they have gotten? I was saying that maybe I have got these profits because of the good that I have done to that family, which is less privileged. So I have come to learn that doing good, when you do good and when you give, you will not lack. God will open another opportunity. You may not even get it from the less privileged that you are assisting. It is very rare, but another door will open. And so my heart is open even to giving, to assisting, and especially assisting those who will not assist me, so that God will also see and assist me in his own ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you so much. You're not special. Too late. You're not special, that you have all these privileges, that people come to your home to clean. You're not special. It's the grace of God. So God has blessed you, and you must bless others.
Sure.
Njenga Kimani. And then we'll have to stop with Lily Ajula because of time. Njenga, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you, Prof, for such a profound teaching. I think one of the things that you need to appreciate is that we give because God has given, because He gave His only
You're
Son.
not clear. Njenga, you're not clear. I don't know, there's a lot of background noise.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Am I clear now? So I'm saying we give because God gave us first, gave His Son, and so it's a privilege for us to give. I've written on the chat. And sometimes when we help and we do give the needy, sometimes we want to plaster the social media with the camera of how we are generous. I think a good Christian should leave their cameras at home, especially when you're helping the needy, because sometimes that help becomes an embarrassment to them. Because sometimes they have to pose for the picture even when they probably don't want. So let's continue giving, because God has called us to give because He first gave. Thank you.
Thank you. Lily Ajula, if you're there.
Thank you. Yes, Prof, I'm here. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
I really share in the sentiment of my colleagues who have spoken ahead of me. Giving is blessings. If you give, trust me, you will get your blessings. It doesn't matter how it will come, but it will come. My only concern, though, is, I have those of us who live in the village, we have this notion, we are so scared of giving our items, and especially clothes, because of, you don't know whoever is going to receive it, what will they do with your clothes? And I would give an example of my husband. At least me, I give my clothes, I give them away. But I have a husband who would not. So he has, like, if I started to pack his clothes, I don't know how many bags I will fill. And I've really tried to convince him to, give away these clothes. They're just gathering dust, and some of them are just new. But he would not. He says, I will not give away my clothes to people. And what if they bewitch me? So I was just wondering, in this case, how do you behave like those of us who are in the village? How do you go about this? You do wish to give, but you have this fear of unknown because we have seen it happen to other people. Thank you.
Okay. Wow, that's quite a dark cave. I don't want to get in. But you don't have to give them to the village where you live. You can take them to a church in a town or a children's home or whatever. But if you're a believer, then those things should not cross your mind. You are protected by his blood. But and I thank you for being open, because that has inhibited many people from giving, worrying what will be done to the clothes or to the money or to the what. Salome Nyaberi. Are you there, Salome? Kemuntu? If you're not there, then Jacqueline Ndege will close for us. Jacqueline is not there also. Okay. Just think about it, and I request we pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts, thankful hearts, hearts that submit to you, Lord. And that, Lord, you have blessed us in many ways. The good health, our families, the earthly properties that you have allowed us to accumulate, Lord. But my message this evening is that those are blessings from you, and you're actually asking us to bless others. So let us be generous in our outlook, not deceptively, as one of us has said, not for the cameras, but to genuinely want to support the vulnerable, and that when you have plenty, you give. I have reached a stage in life when I see people carry millions of shillings. My perception is very different. But I remember that lady in the Bible who was hiding a silver in her hand. And I've seen it in our churches, where a mama is almost the last to take her tithe because she's only carrying a shilling or 50 cents. That is giving. And so, Lord, teach us to give out of our own heart and cushion the vulnerable financially, emotionally, psychologically, physically, Lord, mentally, and even intellectually. Let us give generously so that we may also harvest in abundance. The remaining part of this class in your hands, Lord, but I just want to thank you for this journey. We have walked with these students, and today we are winding up this class. On Saturday, they're winding up with their exam in the research methods class. Lord, what a privilege it has been of coming together and sharing your knowledge with them and within us. We want to thank you. And we continue to thank you for Daystar and the future of this university, Lord. May it be a fountain of knowledge, a fountain of love, and Lord, a fountain of producing men and women who will serve your kingdom. And one of the biggest ways to serve the kingdom is to stand in for the vulnerable. I charge these students to go out there in their own little kingdoms to serve you and be examples. That people will notice that there is a difference with Madam so-and-so, with Mr. so-and-so. And the only difference will be that they went through some formation at Daystar University. Apart from intellectual capacity building, their hearts were transformed, their character reinforced, and their authenticity fortified. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Okay. So we are talking about giving. You know, I've managed through one of you again at Safaricom to get this bonga point number for the chapel, and I'm sure on this call, each of us have some bonga points. So at the end of the class, Mwaka will post the number, and then anytime you have any extra bonga points, or your husband or your wife or your children or your uncle, you know, even if it's 5 shillings, 10 shillings, if Safaricom was telling me if you only got about 30,000 Kenyans giving you as little as 500 shillings, the chapel will be completed of bonga points. So I want to encourage you, being my disciples, to help us in that regard. Again, genuinely and freely join that crusade. We now have a place, an account, Safaricom. Not easy to get, but God has opened that door. So I would like to see you be my ambassadors in that crusade. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to conclude my class with you with one area of leadership that we must embrace. And I really am hoping that we can truly be good team builders. I don't know, is this a screen visible? Is it visible? Are you seeing any slides?
Yes.
No.
No.
It's not moving. It's what you are using for the devotion.
No, not that one. Okay, thank you. One of the most difficult things in leadership is forming teams. And I'm going to spend about an hour, and then we will go into how you'll be evaluated, the work that I expect from you. Is that slide there? Leadership overview?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the toughest things you'll find in leadership is holding a team together. And if you asked me, that is one of the central pillars in leadership. And so I would like us to get into discussion and hopefully enlighten you on how to manage teams so that people work for you and for the organization without necessarily using the instruments of your office. So leadership is, if you asked me, an identifiable set of skills and practices that are available to all of us. We know the skills and the practices. I want to emphasize that leadership is a relationship between those who aspire to lead and those who choose to follow. It's a relationship. And therefore, if you've done psychology and you're put in a position of leadership, you are very clear that this is about using a set of skills and practices that have been established by people like Drucker and the others, and David Brooks and all these gurus in leadership. But also it's a relationship between those who aspire to lead and those who choose to follow. And I want you to distinguish between managers and leaders. Steve Covey, that book is, we all know it, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then Cotter John, Leading Change, gives the differences between managers and leaders. So I'll want you, when we send you these slides, I'll want you to go to those authors, the books, and pull out what's the difference. But I've summarized them for you here. And I want us to reflect on this, the difference between managers and leaders. And the points are quite obvious. Managers know how to plan, budget, organize, staff, control, and problem solve. But leaders create and communicate visions and strategies. Managers deal mostly with the status quo. Leaders deal mostly with change. Management is a bottom line focus. How can I best accomplish certain things? The spreadsheets. Leadership deals with the top line. What are the things I want to accomplish? And management is doing things right, and leadership is doing the right things. That's very interesting. Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. And as you get into leadership, and that's our prayer, you'll find tension between management and leadership in some aspects, but you need both to move forward. The 6 leadership styles, again, I'm giving you references. Go to Goldman, those pages. We have the coercive, the leader demands compliance, do what I tell you. We have authoritative, The leader mobilizes people toward a vision. Come with me. We have the affiliative. The leader creates harmony and builds emotional bonds. People come first. Democratic. The leader forges consensus through participation. What do you think? Pace setting. The leader sets high standards of performance. Do as I do now. And then coaching. The leader develops people for the future. Let us try this. And there are various dimensions of leadership that I would encourage you to read widely as you go on into practice. What is exemplary leadership? Exemplary leadership entails you modeling the way. Inspire a shared vision. Challenge the process. We can do better. We can do things differently. More importantly, enable others to act. And I love this one, encourage the heart. Everybody wants to be encouraged. You encourage the heart. So you model the way. So you must be visionary, you must be courageous. And then you share that vision with your people. And I can give you tons of examples, but we are wrapping up the class. So, but I just want you to note that modeling the way, you know, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. When I came to Daystar, I noticed something very striking, that people are very casual in the way they dressed. And one time I met one of the deputy vice chancellors with a hanging shirt. And you know, I was startled myself. So I called him out and pleaded with him to dress to look like his office. To date, that person is one of the most well-dressed people on this campus. So, but I wouldn't say that if I didn't model the way myself. I didn't model the way myself. Then there was the issue of identity. I saw sometimes you'd see somebody with the identification card of Daystar, others, sometimes you don't see them. So I decided the best way to model the way is for me to wear that badge around my neck, the blue with the details of my employment number and what I am. And anytime I went to the meeting, I would call out people and say, we have strangers in this room. Today, more than 99.what% people know they have to have their identity badges. It is not forced. We have decided to model the way in terms of identification. What has that done? That is a measure of entrenching discipline and commitment and pride in your institution. So remember this: model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. Encourage the heart, those are the soft issues. Tell people how you value them. When my girls have become East African champions in handball, I want to meet them in my office and they sit on the carpet and we have tea together and tell them you have made me very strong and you have made Daystar proud. Encourage the heart as part of leadership. Now, there are these dysfunctions of a team. And Kara, I want you to line up people, or Meshach or Nazarene, line up people, because now I want them to take over the reading so that I can do the explanation, the explaining. There are 5 dysfunctions of a team. There are 5 things that destroy a team. And if you take our class text, the dysfunctions of a team, you'll find that this is what causes problems. And I don't want you to talk about ODM. I don't want. I'm not interested. But the truth is that you can see an organization or an entity that is getting dysfunctional, and you are asked to be cautious as a leader to make sure that you don't have a dysfunctional team. So if you go to page 55, number 20, just tag in that portion. We shall come back to it, but it's what I'm dealing with now. This man, Patrick Lencioni, has written many books around how to have functioning teams. So I would like us to look at the 5 dysfunctions, the things that disrupt a team. And it is taken from the 5 dysfunctions of a team and overcoming the 5 dysfunctions of a team by Patrick Lencioni. Reader number 1.
I've costed you, Gilbert, as you appear on the co-host.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Gilbert.
5 dysfunctions leaders face. The dysfunction, how teams operate with the dysfunction, how teams operate without the dysfunction, suggestions for overcoming the dysfunction, the role of the leader.
Yeah. So, go on. The person was reading.
The 5 dysfunctions in a pyramid.
Yeah.
From the bottom.
Yeah.
Absence of trust, fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, intention to result. Inattention to results.
Yeah. Pause there. At the bottom of the pyramid, in other words, the most threatening variable in a team is absence of trust. So when you are a leader and people don't trust you, trouble has begun. So as a leader, your first effort when you enter an organization is to be trustworthy. And you'll be surprised that if people trust you, that organization becomes strong overnight. It can be an organization, it can be a county, it can be a country. Absence of trust. Now, how do you get people to trust you? You get people to trust you by allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And listen to me very carefully. You get people to trust you by allowing yourself to be vulnerable. So when I entered Daystar, I went during the orientation, my first speech, I told people in Daystar, I want to submit that I had never stepped in the two campuses before I got the job. And that I only came last week to Athi River campus under the disguise of a consultant from the World Bank where I was working, just in case in the interview they asked me about that campus. What am I doing? I am being vulnerable. I am not saying I know Daystar. What am I saying? I am saying that you who know Daystar, I need your support. Now, some people will say, if you start that way, people will know that you don't know anything about Daystar, therefore you can't exert yourself as a leader. No. The next thing I told them that I am from a public university and I've come to a Christ-centered university. So I submit my talents are far below the expectations of this institution because it goes beyond intellect. It walks into the spiritual realm. I'll need your support. So, chaplain, I submit to you the Department of Religious Studies. I submit to you, and I'll want to be taught how chapel is run and how Bible study is conducted. So you submit your vulnerability. You don't stand like some of you when you're given a new school. You say, I've come here and I'm different. The nonsense that has been going on here must stop. You are already eating away at the trust. Now, when there is absence of trust, then there is fear of conflict. Yeah, because I don't trust you, I cannot try to tell you how things are done. Because I don't want conflict with you, because you have already said that the nonsense we have been doing in this place must stop. So I don't want to conflict with you. But if I trust you, I'll be able to come to you and say, sir or madam, I think although you are saying this, this is not who we are. And please have confidence in us that we want to work with you. I will not fear conflict. But where there is absence of trust, there is fear of conflict. Mimi sitaki maneno na mdosi. I don't want problems. And where there is fear of conflict, there is lack of commitment. So my sports director, Masiga, who runs our teams, the Falcon teams, has no fear of conflict. Because he'll come, and the first thing when I came, he told me, all our uniforms are torn and they are faded. So we don't even have confidence. And I said, you know, we are struggling to stabilize the finances, but bring in the order. I didn't say, can't you see, how can you imagine us spending money on sports and yet everything, we can't even pay salaries. So because of that, if I had put him off, there would be lack of commitment with the Falcons. The rugby, the football, the handball, all our teams are Falcons. So there will be lack of commitment because you fear conflict. You don't want to tell me the truth. So you don't commit yourself. And because you don't commit yourself, you are actually avoiding accountability. Mimi sitaki kujiingiza kwa hiyo maneno. And then now you see people in their silos. They are not looking at the results of Daystar. They are looking at their little units where they are working. Me, so long as my place is okay, I don't care. In a school setting, if there is absence of trust, people will fear conflict. So you enter the staff room and you start barking about extra teaching on Saturdays and in the evenings. And because people don't want to conflict with you because they don't trust you, on Saturday morning you come in as the principal and you're walking around the compound and you'll see bodies running into classes in the name of teachers. But they get into the class and they tell the students, open page this and this, and you do your work. Some of you can't even do things. We must leave our homes on Saturday to come here. And people sit there for 1 hour, 2 hours, then the bell rings and they come out. There is no commitment. Why? Because they did not tell you, you know, I'm an SDA. I can't come on Saturday, but I'll be taking my classes on Sunday or on Monday after games. So they avoid accountability and they start saying, for us, our department is doing well. They're not thinking about the whole school. They're thinking about their department. And then you hear people say, but our Kiswahili does very well. Kama watu hesabu wanaanguka shauri yao. And you know that hesabu
yes.
ikishuka chini, then the organization will not perform. So what am I saying?
Yes.
Can somebody mute? So what am I saying?
Wasinikupigie tu juu niko kwa meeting after.
Caroline O'Ward, please mute yourself.
So what am I saying? Absence of trust is the worst dysfunction of a team, even a family, even between man and wife, even in the churches. And why is there absence of trust? Is because we refuse to be human. We are not vulnerable. And where there's absence of trust, there's fear of conflict. And because I did not have my day in court in that staff meeting, I'll not be committed. Have you seen staff meetings after you have finished the staff meeting? People are quiet. What do you think of this and this? Mr. Sogo, what do you think? No, principal, it is okay. Madam Jenga, what do you think? I don't know, Bwana Principal or Madam Principal. I don't know, it was God who knew this school needed you. If you had not come, I don't know where we would be. And they know they're lying because they fear conflict. So there's no commitment. And immediately the staff meeting is over, they run from the staff room or where you're holding the meeting and go to the farthest part of the playing fields and they assemble there, 4 or 5 of them. They start saying, what was that foolish woman or man saying? Hiyo ni shauri yake. Tutakuja tu Jumamosi lakini hatufundishi. So nobody is accountable and you don't get the results. I want us to know that the biggest dysfunction is absence of trust. And next reader.
The absence of trust.
It simply makes no difference how good the rhetoric is, or even how good the intentions are, if there is little or no trust. There is no foundation for permanent success.
Yes. And you are leaders, and you know the existential realities. So it makes no difference how good the rhetoric is. Or even how good the intentions are. If there is little or no trust, there is no foundation for permanent success. That is Stephen Covey. Continue reading.
What is trust? Think of two people, one that you trust and the other that you don't. In the context of team building, trust is the confidence among team members that their peers' intentions are good and that there is no reason to be careful around the group.
Yeah. Now, the next reader.
Members of teams with an absence of trust conceal their weaknesses and mistakes.
Just a minute, sorry. We'll start there. Yes?
Members of teams with an absence of trust conceal their weaknesses and mistakes from one another. Hesitate to ask for help or provide constructive feedback. Hesitate to offer help outside their own areas of responsibility. Jump to conclusions about the intentions and aptitudes of others without attempting to clarify them. Fail to recognize and tap into one another's skills and experiences. Waste time and energy managing their behaviors for effect. Hold grudges.
Yes. So I want you to reflect on this in your own setup. Are you in an organization where people do these things? They conceal their weaknesses. They hesitate to ask for help. Wanang'ang'ana tu. They don't know how to exploit artificial intelligence. They don't even know how to go to the comprehensive meta-analysis software and analyze data, but they can't ask because they don't trust you. You'll go and say that fellow is a fool. They hesitate to offer help outside their own areas. That is not my business. It is the master on duty who is in charge, not me. It is the doctor who is on duty. They are very easy to judge. They don't recognize and tap into one another's skills and experiences. By the way, I embraced technology very early, but at an age where we were strangers to technology, because I noticed the potential of my secretary in Jogo House. And she taught me how to play around on the keyboard and do Word documents and PowerPoint and the rest. And that was my turning point with Professor Saitoti. He was so amazed. He was so excited that there was an officer who could do his PowerPoints. And therefore, I traveled 57 capitals in the world with him. But where did this all begin? I recognized that Lucy Kaigongi was so proficient. She had come from the government secretarial training. And she taught me. how to manipulate. Those days when people are hiding their laptops in the safes in Jogo House, mine was being overused. Are you in an organization where people waste time and energy managing their behaviors for effect? I remember at Sunshine, when I was the principal, we had our results. And one of our biggest problems was Kiswahili. And the lady who was teaching one of the 3 streams had the lowest mean. Her class had the lowest mean. So while we were celebrating, we were in the top 5 in the country. She didn't feel guilty. Of course, she felt guilty that people had a mean of 11 in maths and Kiswahili had a mean of 5 point something. But what does she do when she comes to the staff room? Me, I don't care. You know, this teaching me, I don't even know why I'm here. And that following day, she leaves the Toyota, her car, Corolla, and she comes with her husband's Prado and parks it very prominently in the parking. And then she comes with very pointed high heel shoes so that when she's walking on the corridor, everybody notices. And she's telling people, me, in fact, what TSC pays me, my husband, has always discouraged me to teach because he can give me all that money. What was this lady doing? She was managing her behavior for effect. Then teams with an absence of trust hold grudges. Unajua, because somebody criticized and said our mean we were not number 2 in the country because of your subject. For the 4 years you are with that person on staff, you never forgive them. Unamchukia tu, unabeba hiyo mzigo ya chuki. That is what absence of trust does. And then dread meetings. Have you seen these people who walk into an area and a meeting has been called? Nowadays, of course, we put it on the wall. And somebody says, we are tired of these meetings. Professor Ayiro is always holding meetings at 6 in the morning. We are very tired. In fact, officially, work starts at 8. There is a problem with trust around that character. So I want you to reflect on this and look at your own organization. Next reader, members of trusting teams.
Members of trusting teams. Number 1, admit weakness and mistakes. Number 2, ask for help. Number 3, accept questions and input about their areas of responsibility. Number 4, give one another the benefit of the doubt before arriving to a negative conclusion. Number 5, take risks in offering feedback and assistance. Number 6, appreciate and tap into one another's skills and experiences. Number 7, focus time and energy on important issues, not politics. Number 8, offer and accept apologies without hesitation. Number 9, look forward to meetings and other opportunities to work as a group.
Yeah. So that is a team that trusts each other. So I want you to reflect on this and tell us, where is your organization, or what has struck you in this contrast of members of teams with absence of trust and members of teams where there is trust? I would like us to pause and get some little feedback on this. Yeah, go ahead, Carol, take charge of that. Or Meshach.
All right. Meshach, you want to go?
We'll pick about four for now, then we'll come back. There's so much.
Okay. So, Prof, you want them to contribute or just to pick the
Yeah, just what we have just done. Yeah, this.
Okay.
We are just looking at trust.
All right. So, Jackie, Charles, Jenga, and Kilani, so that others can read. Jackie, you can begin. Charles, then Jenga, and Peter.
Doc, you mean with
Okay,
Jacqueline?
Yes. Muse. Jacqueline Muse, and then Charles Muindi, Jenga, and Peter, while others will read.
We're just picking just three here.
Three. So,
because we are
Jacqueline Muse, Charles, and then Jenga. Jacqueline? Yes, go ahead, Jacqueline. Okay, Charles, go ahead.
And here you're simply telling us your experience. Are you relating to this? Do you have a live example? Just to reinforce, because absence of trust is a problem.
Charles?
Thank you, Dr. for the opportunity. From the different organizations that I've found myself in, these are things that are very practical because you realize that in some areas, people just want to show how good they are at the different tasks that they carry. And I found myself in such offices where people just want to do things they don't want to admit whenever they have an issue and they need help. And in such a given situation, you just find yourself working in the midst of the same. But then it becomes very difficult as we are talking about the aspect of leadership and management in such an institution. You find that the working relations are not good because people don't trust one another. When I'm trying to help you, you think that I'm trying to outshine you on the same. So that is something which has been practical in the different areas that I found myself working. Thank you.
Very good. Next.
Thank you. Peter?
Sorry, Jenga.
Oh, Jenga, okay. Jenga.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Peter?
Thank you, Dr.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Is that Jenga?
Yes, sorry, I
Okay,
think I've
Jenga, go
been
ahead.
muted.
Okay. Please go ahead.
I'm saying I've worked with people who are one with managers who are extremely trustworthy. I mean, they trust people in a way that you can, you talk freely and contribute to the well-being of the organization. And I look forward. I used to look forward. However, the last boss that I work under, you will dread even working under her because she will shut you down. She will talk you over. She will humiliate you in front of that's junior staffs. So you don't look forward to that. And sorry to say that. So when she was finally removed, it appears that some of the staff were celebrating. It's good riddance. Of course, I've had seen colleagues who conceal their weaknesses simply because they don't want to appear bad. And of course, because of their, I believe their enculturalization and socialization, whereby you go to a place and you're put down so that you are not in a position to want to volunteer anywhere else because of particular trauma that you experienced. Well, probably you ask somebody to come and help you. So yes, these are some of the traits that you can actually find in organizations. However, I believe when you're able to admit the weaknesses and mistakes, it means quite much for the good of the organization. Thank you very much. That's all I want to say.
Very good. The last one.
Thank you. Peter?
Okay, thank you, Daktari. Mine is about, maybe if I can talk about the absence of trust. Recently, I sat in a meeting with some of the HIAs. There was a proposal to have a zone because this ward is far from where we currently have the games. So what shocked me was out of the 5 HIAs from that ward where I come from, called Mosiro Ward in Kajiado West, only one who was supporting the idea. So along the meeting, what came up was there was a lot of mistrust that some were saying we will not be able to sustain ourselves financially because we don't trust some of you, and maybe going back to what they have been doing. When that time comes to maybe go for zonals and they agree to hire maybe 3 buses, at the final day, everybody goes with his or our children from the schools they come from. So I think that is the absence of trust. So to me, I can conclude that trust is key to building a solid team and for success to happen in any institution.
Very good. Thank you very much. Let's continue to the next attribute, but let's see the role of the leader. So what we are saying, the role of the leader, I can tell you this for free, demonstrate vulnerability. Demonstrate vulnerability. Very important. And I've given you examples. Please be vulnerable within your settings. It does not make you weak. You win trust. Don't go to a staff meeting and pretend that the results are not good and the teachers whose subjects are not performing will be in trouble. But instead tell them that these results cause danger first to me as the principal of the school, and I carry the burden of poor performance. So please, let us work harder. You're just being vulnerable. And people will then come in to support you because you can't do it alone. You can never do it alone in leadership. Okay, next reader. Next reader.
The fear of conflict.
Okay, go ahead.
The fear of conflict.
Okay, just a minute.
Much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid.
Yes. By the way, this is Dostoevsky, a Russian literary person. I like that saying, much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid. You have had this, and we don't even want to say it here. You have had this mama say, me, I don't say anything. I just keep quiet. I don't want the wrath of that man. Much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid. I want my peace. You see, because there is no trust, what happens? You fear conflict. And so you don't commit yourself at all. Next. Yeah, continue reading.
Is conflict ever positive? What is an example of healthy conflict? What happens to make it quality? What doesn't happen that keeps it good? Teams that engage in productive conflict know that the only purpose is to produce the best possible solution in the shortest period of time.
Continue.
Teams that fear conflict have boring meetings, create environments where back-channel politics and personal attacks thrive, ignore controversial topics that are critical to team success, fail to tap into all the opinions and perspectives of team members, waste time and energy with posturing and interpersonal risk management.
Yes. Just think about this. Do you know those people? You have seen boring board meetings, staff meetings, because people fear conflict. And they create environments where back channel politics, ethnicity, and personal attacks thrive. Those people, when you're walking from parade and you've had such a good day, such a good sermon, and you're walking to your office, and behind you, you can almost know who is that behind you, even without looking back. You know their footsteps. They're coming to say, you know what? Have you heard? You know those people? They want to finish you. Where there is fear of conflict, you don't engage in controversial topics that will cause success. You fail to tap into the other opinions and perspectives of members of teams. And most of the time, you waste time and energy posturing and managing behavior for effect. So this fear of conflict is a very dangerous attribute. Very dangerous. Next reader, somebody else pick this up.
Teams that engage in conflict. Teams that engage in conflict, number one, have lively, interesting meetings. Number two, extract and explore the ideas of all team members. 3, solve real problems quickly. 4, minimize politics. 5, put critical topics on the table for discussion. Okay,
Suggestions for overcoming fear of conflicts. 1. Mining. Extracting buried disagreements within the team and sheds the light of day on them. 2. Real-time permission. Coaching one another not to retreat from healthy debates. Role of the leader. 1. Demonstrate restraint when team members engage in conflicts. Personally, model appropriate conflict behavior.
Yeah. So you as a leader, don't try and stop when people are arguing. Demonstrate restraint. And then model appropriate conflict behavior yourself. That this is healthy. I'm glad you said this. We mean well for our institution. But one of the most
those people who are drawing on annotating the slides, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Prof?
There's a question.
Just a minute. Teams that engage in conflict put critical topics on the table for discussion. They don't run away from difficult issues because they know engaging in conflicts is just a tunnel of chaos. But once we have agreed, then everybody will have had their day in court and we move on as an organization. Yes, somebody wanted to raise something? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Jenga. Now, I'm imagining because I was in we had a board member in the board I sit in, and very controversial, very abusive. You'll hit the tables. How would you allow somebody who is controversial and arousing conflict that are not healthy? I don't know how do you control that kind of a person?
Yeah, that's a good question. But you see, that tells me you have not set the agenda of approach very clearly. Because one of the things that we must do in a board meeting is be civil and cordial, even when we are arguing. Then people will be free to discuss without emotions and so on. But that is also a measure of your degree of firmness as a leader. You allow for open discussion, but you expect cordiality and civility to prevail. And this you can do in many ways. You can start off in your prayer. You can start off as your management style. You can do 2-3 slides on the conduct of the meetings, particularly when you're doing the induction for the leaders. But also, the question is, do they take you seriously? Are they able to take you seriously as the chair or other members of the board? So I know what you're saying. It happens, but when that happens, ask yourself, what is in this for me to learn? There's something, what we call a spurious variable, lacking in the darkness around that boardroom, because you have not put clarity around how you want meetings conducted. All right. Next reader.
The lack of commitment. In the context of a team, commitment is a function of two things: clarity and buy-in.
Yeah, underlined buy-in. If you have allowed me to cause conflict, to argue, to debate, then I'll be committed. I'll have a buy-in. I'll say, yes, we discussed and we agreed. I wanted to bring this afterwards. Read that for me.
Always remember the distraction between contribution and commitment.
No, go back.
The lack of commitment.
No. Yeah, okay. Go on, yeah.
The lack of commitment. Always remember the distraction between contribution
No,
and commitment.
that word is not distraction.
Always remember the distinction between contribution and commitment. Take the matter of bacon and eggs. The chicken makes a contribution, the pigs make a commitment.
Yeah. Just leave it there. And I want you to remember this always. The distinction between contribution and commitment. The egg I ate for breakfast, the chicken is still alive. But the sausage or the bacon I ate for breakfast, the pig is no more. So when we talk of commitment, it is deeper than contribution. And a lot of people in organizations just make contribution. What time do they want me to arrive? 8:30. What time do I leave? By 4:30, they're packing. But there are those who are committed. And it will only come if these people did not fear conflict. They want the organization to do well. They engaged in the debate and the decisions and the policies that were formed. So just remember John Carter, I like that quote. Bacon and eggs. The chicken makes a contribution. The pig makes a commitment. Next reader.
Enemies of commitment. The need for consensus. Sometimes in the pursuit of unanimity, we seek artificial harmony, and that leads to low level of commitment.
Two. And just, I don't know how many understand this. When you hear people say, let us build a consensus, we met as the National Delegates Conference and we resolved. That is just artificial harmony. And there will be very low levels of commitment or acceptability. So be very careful. This thing of consensus, it was by consensus. I just mentioned this and everybody said yes. So sometimes in the pursuit of unanimity, we seek artificial harmony. Sio harmony ya ukweli. And so it will lead to low levels of commitment or support from the public. Next, continue reading.
Number two, the fear of failure. This is the most common reason people do not commit. They would rather not ever take a stand on something than risk being wrong.
Yeah. And you know why? Why? Because the fear of conflict. They didn't make suggestions. So when it comes to commitment, they would rather not ever take a stand on something than risk being wrong. Mimi staki administration inifate, staki waniandikie memo. I want my peace. So note, where there is no commitment, there's always people talk about consensus, fear of failure. Continue.
Number three, lack of communication. If someone is not being heard or listened to, they will not invest in any decisions or goals.
Yes. So we know this. When you are in a meeting and nobody is saying anything, keep asking them to say something. They say, no, Mia, I think it is okay. I agree. Why? Because you have already shut them down, the fear of conflict. So lack of commitment, and one of the things is lack of communication. Next, just continue reading.
Number four, mismatch. A person who is in the wrong position for him or her will not contain the interest or passion necessary to achieve high levels of commitment.
Yeah. There's always a mismatch. Kuna wengine wetu tunazungushwa everywhere in an organization. You are an administrator in this place. After 1 month, you go to the other place, another time. So this fellow, the interest and the passion goes away, and you can't achieve high levels of commitment. There's no ownership. Next reader.
A team that fails to commit, 1, creates ambiguity among the team about direction and priorities. 2, watches windows of opportunity close due to excessive analysis and unnecessary delay. 3, breeds lack of confidence and fear of failure. 4, revisits discussions and decisions again and again. 5, encourages second guessing among team members.
Yeah. So there are these people in a boardroom or in a staff room, they always create ambiguity among the team. Kwani walisema tufanye namna gani? No, me, I don't think they said we do quizzes this week. They said we do them next week. And we could not have those quizzes because the rugby team was away. So it would have been unfair for the students. If you hear those kind of arguments, windows of opportunity will just go because they're busy doing unnecessary, excessive analysis and unnecessary delays. And if you are in an organization where people revisit an agenda, every time you go for a meeting, that agenda revisits discussions and directions again and again. And then you know this is a team that is not committed. Next reader.
A team that commit create a clarity around direction and priorities, align the entire team around common objectives, develop an ability to learn from mistakes, take advantage of opportunities before competitors do, move forward without hesitation, change direction without hesitation or guilty.
Yeah. A committed team. I've had to introduce several initiatives in Daystar. And in my own office, I search for aspects of lack of commitment or commitment. So when I introduced D for D, Design for Delight, as a founding principle for us to be competitive in higher education in Kenya, there were people, members of my staff, who are very critical. What philosophy is this? What does this design for delight? Kwani utafurahisha kila mtu, sijui what. But then I am forewarned as a leader to create clarity. So I kept on doing presentations around D for D and giving them examples, global examples, and the most competitive organizations. And now we are aligned around common objectives. We learn from mistakes. We have tried spatial artificial intelligence, learning from many mistakes, and we move on. We need to take advantage of opportunities before Strathmore comes in and USIU will be gone. And we move forward without hesitation. Many times I'm changed, but I move forward. And when I see things are not working, you change direction without hesitation or guilt. We give it a try, it is not working, let us restart again. Those are committed teams. Next reader.
Suggestions for overcoming the lack of commitment: cascading messaging, deadlines, contingency and worst case scenario analysis, low risk exposure therapy.
Yeah, so you must do many things, and I want you to read when you get these slides just take those narratives and deepen your understanding through reading. But you must communicate constantly. You must give deadlines on when you want things done. And you must create worst case scenarios of resistance and so on. But adapt low risk exposure therapy. Continue reading.
Commitment, clarity, and buy-in are two functions that must happen every time. Consensus. All ideas must be heard and considered before this can be effective. Certainty. Unity behind decisions, yet little assurance about clarity and buy-in used when consensus is not possible. Important. Conflict underlines the willingness to commit without perfect information.
Yeah. So that's what commitment, a central part. But you know, commitment will be born out of trust and no fear of conflict. Then people will be committed to the agenda of the organization. Continue what commitment is.
Commitment is clarity around directions and priorities. Number one. Number two, alignment of entire team around common objectives. 3, developing an ability to learn from mistakes. 4, taking advantage of opportunities before competitors do. 5, moving forward without hesitation. And 6, changing direction without hesitation or guilt.
I'm repeating this so that we are very clear about it. You can close that, the role of the leader.
The role of the leader. Be comfortable with the prospects of making a decision that ultimately turns out to be wrong. Constantly push the group for closure around issues and adherence to schedules the team has set.
Okay, number 4, new reader.
Avoidance of accountability. The secret of discipline is motivation. When a man is sufficiently motivated, discipline will take care of itself. Sir Alexander Patterson. In the context of teamwork, accountability refers specifically to the willingness of the team members to call their peers on performance of behaviors that might hurt the team.
Yeah. Many of you, there is avoidance of accountability. You know the problem in an organization, me included. Today I'm struggling with renewing some contracts of staff because, I mean, you know that you have members who are not willing to say, but this person is the problem. They leave it to the management on performance. You can't call your peers out on performance behaviors that might hurt the organization. So that's a challenge in leadership. Avoidance of accountability. And I would urge all of you to know that that's another very serious dysfunction of a team.
Quick self-check. See
Yeah.
how your team does.
Yeah.
3 for usually, 2 for sometimes, 1 for rarely. We call out one another's deficiencies or unproductive behaviors. We are deeply concerned about the prospect of letting down our peers. We challenge one another about our plans and approaches.
Yeah. So does that exist in your team? Are you able to tell somebody, you know, you are the problem? And you are not fair. You are too complainers. How about your output yourself? Do you have a team where everybody is deeply concerned about the prospect of letting down each other? Do we challenge one another about our plans and approaches? This is what accountability is all about. Next reader.
Avoid accountability. 1. Creates resentment among team members who have different standards of performance. Encourages mediocrity. Misses deadlines and key deliverables. Places an undue burden on the team leader as the sole source of discipline.
Yeah. So kuna watu who just create resentment towards people who are doing well in an organization. People have a different standard than they have. These are people who encourage mediocrity because excellence will shine light on them, on their performance. They are always missing deadlines and key deliverables. And this is a management reality. If you're in an organization that was supposed to have produced a document last month and it is not coming out, these are teams that avoid accountability. And these are the ones that place undue burden on the team leader. So when the team leader says, I want this done, this must be done, then he becomes a target. He becomes an enemy. I'm sure that sounds familiar. Continue reading.
Holds one another accountable. Ensures that poor performance feels pressure to improve. Identifies potential problems quickly by questioning one another's approaches without hesitation. Establishes respect among team members who are held to the same high standards. Avoids excessive bureaucracy around performance management and corrective action.
Yeah. This is an accountable team. You ensure that poor performers feel pressure. So sometimes when I get very tired of you, I'll call you for guidance and counseling in my office. I'll not write a warning letter or a memo. I'll just call you for guidance and counseling. And I'll tell you, we are not doing well. Again, when you see problems, you quickly point them out and question the approach without hesitating. And you establish respect among team members who are then held to very high standards. I wish I could say this better. Avoid excessive bureaucracy around performance management and corrective action. Cut out those too many steps so that you can quickly address the problem at hand. So that is accountability. Next reader.
Accountability.
Go on.
Peer pressure. I'm reading.
Yeah.
Accountability. Peer pressure is the most effective and efficient means of keeping high standards, defined as willingness to call their peers on performance or behaviors that might hurt the team, ways to assist, publish goals and standards for all to see, frequent progress reports, and then team rewards.
Yeah. Very, very important. Peer pressure. Don't wait for the CEO. No, just within yourself. Put peer pressure on performance. Be willing to call your peers on performance and behaviors that you know will hurt our team, our university, our school, our hospital, our department, our security setup. And the best way is to have goals, standards for all to see through frequent progress reports and team rewards. Now, how do you overcome avoidance of accountability? Next reader.
Suggestions for overcoming avoidance of accountability. Number 1, team rewards. Explicit communicate goals and standards of behavior. Regularly discuss performance versus goals and standards. The role of the leader. Allow the team to serve as the first and primary accountability mechanism.
Sorry, just one. I'm sorry about that. Just a minute. Yeah.
Be willing to serve as the ultimate arbiter of discipline when the team itself fails.
Yeah. So it's all about us. Next reader, number 5, the last dysfunction of a team.
Unintentional to results.
Yes. Inattention to results.
Teamwork is the quintessential contradiction of a society grounded in individual achievement.
Yeah. If you want, you can say quintessential contradiction.
Quintessential.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Grounded in individual achievement by that.
Yes.
Teamwork. So it is about our organization. Don't tell me we are days in the chaplains, we are okay. It is the people in the administration who are not working. It is the people in the Directorate of Research. No. Teamwork is the essential essence. And if there is contradiction, then it comes when everybody is grounded in individual achievement. It doesn't help the team.
The ultimate dysfunction of a team is the tendency of members to care about something other than the collective goal of the group. This is according to Patrick Lencioni.
So you don't say, us, we are okay. We, in psychology, we are all right. We graduate more people than School of Business, more people than, development studies. No. The ultimate dysfunction of a team is the tendency of members to care about something other than the collective goals of the group. It's about the organization. It's not about your section division.
Distractors.
Just a minute. Yeah.
Individual status, success of a specific person without regard to the status of the team as a large unit. The desire of an individual credit erodes the focus of collective success. The status being, to some people, just being on the team means that they have to meet their goals, and because of this, no longer buy into the goals, visions, or mission of the team.
Yeah, so that thing of us, we are okay in our area and not thinking of the bigger goal is a big distractor. Carry on.
A team that is not focused on results do the following: they stagnate or fails to grow. 2, rarely defeats competitors. 3, loses achievement-oriented employees. 4, encourages team members to focus on their own careers and individual goals. 5, is easily distracted.
Yeah. You rarely defeat competitors if you keep saying we in our section, in our department, in our division. So what happens is the employees who want to do well will go elsewhere because the whole organization is not performing. like this year, we must get into the top 10 in national rankings and beyond. Because we must also defeat our competitors. We can't remain at position 13, 14, 13, 14. So there is stagnation, and that tells me there's no serious focus on results. And that's why we have a meeting tomorrow with the deans and directors in Karen. On Monday, I have a team with the research groups in the university. We must overcome this stagnation. And we want to encourage everybody to look at the bigger picture, not on their careers. Me, I have published papers. I am applying for promotion. No. Where is Daystar? Next reader.
A team that focuses on collective results. A team that focuses on collective results. 1, retains achievement-oriented employees. 2, minimize individualistic behavior. 3, enjoys success and suffers failure acutely. 4, benefits from individuals who subjugate their own goals or interests for the good of the team. 5, avoids distractions.
Yeah. Then that is now, you'll be having attention to results, not inattention. Yes. Carry on, you are finishing that.
Overcoming inattention to public declaration of results, results-based rewards.
Yeah.
The role of the leader. 1 is to set the tone for a focus on results. 2, be selfless and objective. Reserve the rewards and recognition for those who make real contributions to achievement of group goals.
Yeah, and this I want to advise all of you. Be selfless and objective. That's how you'll form that team, and everybody is focused on Daystar doing well. Our school, our organization, our church, our security unit. So be selfless and objective. Reserve the rewards and recognition for those who make real contributions. So me, I've decided to be public in Daystar. I award trips, conferences, further studies to people who make real contributions to Daystar. And there are no apologies. And somebody cannot say it's tribal, it is what. No, it is open. Vile Nyerere alisema, ukiulizwa, je, huyu jamaa ama huyu mtu anatosha, usimame kidhabiti na useme ndio, kwa sababu unajua huwa anatekeleza juhudi zake katika chama cha CCM. Yeah. So me, I always say, let people ask me, je, huyu naibu wa director wa DRICE, kwa nini ukamchagua kwenda Urusi kwa safari kwa ziara muhimu ambayo ilitokezea kutoka kwa idara ya elimu ya Kenya? Ni kwa nini ulimchagua? Kwa nini? Ni mtu wa kabila yako ama mnajuana kivipi? Nitasema kwa dhati ndio, kwa sababu nimeona vitendo zake. That is the role of a leader. And you set the tone for a focus on results. So I want us to look at this now, where we would like to be. And that's my last slide. We want trust, not absence of trust. We want to encourage conflict, healthy conflict. That will lead to commitment to the goals of the organization or the setup. which in turn will make people accountable, and that all of us will focus on the bigger good of the organization. This is very fundamental in leadership, the 5 dysfunctions of a team. So as a leader, you are perpetually trying to overcome those dysfunctions. And you want people to trust you through your vulnerability. You want to encourage conflict in what I describe in the book as the tunnel of chaos, which will result in commitment because everybody will have had their day in court. And then you are looking for accountability. There'll be enhanced accountability, defense for Daystar in every space of the organization, and there'll be a focus on the bigger goals. This would be my wish for all of you from this leadership course. I would like to stop there. And I would like to invite, before I invite Carol, I would want you to read again chapter 20, because that's where all this is present. And I borrowed very heavily from Lencioni in my book. And then, as I conclude this class, this is what I would like to do. I would like you to do. You will submit in the summaries of the chapters that you did earlier. But now, I want you to note this very clearly. The summary that will count for your grading from the class text will be thus: what was summarized between chapter 1 and chapter 20, and I hope somebody is writing, will constitute 20% of your evaluation. Summarizing chapter 21 to the last chapter, chapter 54, no, chapter 55, 21 to 55 will constitute another 20%. The work of Peter Drucker, of all those sections you are supposed to highlight and annotate, will give you another 20%. Sorry, not 10%. The work of Drucker will constitute 10%. I'm sorry, about 10%. Meshach, are you on this call?
Yes, Prof.
Please note that.
Yeah, I'm noting down. I'm noting down.
So Drucker 10%, and that gives us 50%. The other 50% will be self-evaluation. And this one, 10%, is on participation and attendance. You're coming to class. And 40% will be your own self-evaluation, which will have to be justified. So actually, your exam is summarizing chapter 21 to the last chapter of the book. That's the exam. And that is chapter 55, a dignified exit. Please open your books. I just want to emphasize something here. The power of conviction is chapter 21. Chapter 22, avoid 11th hour surprises in your organization. Chapter 23, how are you doing? How are you doing? 24, get the right people on the bus. 25, leadership distributed. 26, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. 27, the essence of warmth and charm. 28, the tunnel of chaos. That's where the conflict, you allow for conflict. 29, be candid and forthright in leadership. So you avoid mushy communication. Number 30, disagree without drawing blood. So engage in passionate discussions, but avoid extremism and personal attacks. 31, call the foul. You must be able to say, tell somebody is not doing well. So board meetings are derailed, staff meetings turn chaotic, and team building is cast as useless, and yet no concern is raised. Unanyamaza tu. Intuitively, all in attendance would be burdened by the same thoughts. Why can't someone call a foul and say, this we shall not have in Daystar? Forgive and reconcile. I love that. Very few organizations are conflict-free. Those that excel are the ones that are unashamedly committed to keep engaging in constant forgiveness and reconciliation. So it's very, very important. 33, we have got to do this together. You can't do it alone. Part 3 of the book, Leadership, denotes catalyzing action. 34, the bias towards action. So personally, I've never understood inactivity in leadership, why a person would sit when he could soar, spectate when he could play, or atrophy when he could develop, is beyond my comprehension. 35, performance buys freedom. If staff members are doing their tasks wholeheartedly, meeting or performing beyond expectations, then I give them greater latitude and ease by supervision duties over them. I don't supervise them. 36, worse than the enemy, the CEO's destructive confidence. And all of you have to be very careful. Management schools often teach that responsible leaders stay within the chain of command when it comes to obtaining information about what is going on deep in the organization. In other words, the only people you are supposed to talk to are those who report directly to you. In my career, both as an institution consultant and throughout the 30+ years of leadership, I've violated this instruction on purpose. I get information from everybody and at whatever level. Sustainability matters. Good leaders demand high commitment from the people. They cast compelling visions and say, if we all rally together, we can take this one. But at some point along the way, they have to ask themselves how many mountains they can realistically climb in a given time frame. So you have to be partially realistic. You must have an internal reporting system, your IRS. 39, how do you take criticisms? As a leader, facts should be your friends no matter how bitter they are. You must be told the truth. I love that small chapter. The ultimate test of leadership, chapter 40. And then part 4 is stirring the pot. What is there for me to learn? Like we have just said today. Did I learn anything out of this horrible thing? It is the best response I know to failure. 42, create your own finish lines when you get into an organization. 43, pay now, play later. So sacrifice now, and you'll enjoy later. 44, ask your team, are we still having fun? Yeah, or everything has become mawe. 45, lead with diligence. So wherever you see something going well, wherever light begins to conquer darkness that threatens to engulf our world, look closely. There stands a leader who is holding that candle. 46, always take the treacherous road. But when I always hear my grandfather's exhortation float through my consciousness, bless what you can bless, thank everyone you can thank, cheer on what is appropriate to cheer on, and be done with it. And so, obeying my grandfather's teachings, I will do just that. So I bless those I have to bless. I cheer those I have to cheer. The value of reading as a leader, emphasized in chapter 47. 48, why every leader must be punctual. Promptness is very important. Chapter 49, don't count duty by the shilling. Don't. There are not enough shillings in the world to motivate me to do what I do, but there's a kind of compensation that does fire me up, service to humankind. So don't count duty by the shilling. Excellence matters because we know what it does. Excellence honors God and encourages fellow human beings. Chapter 51, admit mistakes and your stock increases. Vulnerability. 52, assist me to understand. So when you feel animated and emotionally charged about costly mistakes made by your subordinates, begin the conversation from a position of compromise. It is better to say, assist me to comprehend the issue better. What is in this for me to learn? My Jewish upbringing, chapter 53. Slowly, mom and dad organized for us to be coached on the 7 factors that drive Jewish success. I was brought up in a Jewish family. Obviously, I never grasped them then at my tender age, but they have taken on greater meaning in my later life. I've taken it upon myself to research about it and better understand these critical factors surrounding the Jewish phenomenon. Why do they always succeed, and why are they so daring? So that's another glimpse of my upbringing. And then overcoming political shenanigans, 54. My Jewish upbringing kept telling me that education is wealth and is portable knowledge and skills. I had also learned that one must protect their own. I did not want my family to continue to be dragged in the psychological trauma of rejection that I had suffered. Yeah, this is an episode of my encounter at Moore University. Then a dignified exit. The question is not whether we will leave. I'll tell my colleagues. The question is how well we'll leave when it's finally our turn to go. Think about it yourself. And that is the last chapter. So, can I give you a commitment that from chapter 21 to chapter 55, I'll mark this work personally because it's your exam. You are going to highlight, you are going to write a short synopsis, sometimes half a page, sometimes a quarter page, sometimes 1 page on each of those chapters and submit them through my research office. Dr. Mwaka, Magdalene is away, but there is Nazarene, there is Meshach, so that I can go through them to give you your 20 marks. The other 20 you have already hopefully accumulated. That is 40. 10 marks, DRACA. Again, that is work I'll look at myself. And then 10 marks for attendance and participation, and 40 marks is self-evaluation. So out of 40 marks, you tell me how many marks do you think you deserve? Do you deserve 40 out of 40, 30 out of 40, 35 out of 40? And then we will summarize and give you your grade for the course. It has been a pleasure and a learning experience for me. I hope you have also found the course worthwhile and that we try to teach leadership from a totally different dimension, anchoring it in scripture and then getting into the existential realities from your class text. And then we have tied it up with the dysfunctions of a team. Carol, thank you very much. And I want to wish these people well. I will be waiting for their chapter 2s. And I promise to plow through the chapter 2 and chapter 3 so that you are ready to be picked up by your other supervisor. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Prof. Sorry, I can't put on my video. We have no power, but I want us to thank you so much and allow the 4 students first of all to say something. The ones who already lifted their hands, that is Alice, John, Vincent, and Gibson. Please, because your hands were still here to participate, let me allow you to talk. So, Alice, John, and Gibson, and Vincent. Alice, go ahead. Alice.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Dr. Ria, I'm on.
Okay.
Allow me to have my video off. We don't have power.
Okay.
So thank you for the opportunity to make my comments. I want to thank Professor for the far we've come. I used to
get that instructions with some anxiety of not knowing how to do it. But currently, at least when you are giving those instructions, we are at ease to get the content and summarize the synopsis. We've grown far. I'm grateful for the book has really enlightened us, The Art of Leadership. And unfortunately, just some pages
Yes,
in
Alice.
as unfortunately the book that I was
John?
given, some pages are,
There's no power in the book.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
Alice, just go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, as you are going through the topics, I discovered the end pages are are faint. So I don't know the book that I acquired from your the office.
Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah,
hope I don't know, they are not that clear,
I'm
but
taking note of that.
yes. So thank you for this far. I'm happy. I'm growing. I'm somewhere better. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a publisher issue because we don't publish, is the publisher publish, so we can raise with the publisher regarding the book. If you have any evidence, you can actually scan so that we ask the publisher to give you back another copy, because it shouldn't be that. Thank you so much, John. And by the way, this means this in your program. Other than seminars for research, this will be the last course Prof is taking you, because next semester we have a new team of professors teaching you. John, how are you? Yes, John.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Arian. Thank you, Prof, for the journey that you started with us and for your constant reassurance. For this particular course, I'd also like to thank you for your insights on leadership. And, thank you for your approach, moving away from what I expected when I was starting, that it would be, styles of leadership, the implications of whatever style of leadership and what you need to do in a particular situation, and just anchoring it in spirituality and in service to others, and in that reminder of us to be human beings, and just to bring out a humanity in leadership. I think it feels like it's a never ending journey that, as your leader, you're still learning. There was a question of mine that was not answered, and it's something I'm not sure if I'm going to meet you again, or just about how you soldier on. And this was in relation to when people are steering off from the mission, how do you fill up your bucket again? I don't think that question was answered.
Okay.
And then finally,
let me interrupt on that one.
Yeah.
This is what I do, and I hope some of you will learn. When I see challenge, when I see malaise, when I see dysfunctions creeping up, I just up my game. It's such a powerful approach to management. So it might not even, people might not see how close it is, but I then decide I'm going to look at chapter 1s of 160 students. That silences a lot of noise. You up your game. If I've been going to the office at 6, I'll go to the office at 5:30. And when I do any presentations, whether it is in Senate or what, I up my game, my slides. I'm thinking I'm deep into the 21st century. So the people who are talking ordinary things are left behind. Tomorrow I'm meeting my deans and directors. I'm not going to, after this, I'll have dinner, and then I'm going to sit down and prepare slides that will articulate what I expect of a dean and a director under the D for D and the VQ. and then I'll be challenging them in their own ways. And has it been of benefit to us? Of course it has. So that's how you challenge people. You just up your game. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much for that. It's like talking to people communicating to people without actually talking, which is very powerful. Just a clarification about the assignment. There was a previous submission that we did for chapter 1 up to 5. Do we need to capture that again in our sending, or do we just start from 6 up to 20 and then 21 up to 55?
Can you make it continuous so that we don't disadvantage anybody? Merge chapter 1 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think what you submitted, we will let it be, and then we allow you to continue, and then you submit as one file. It is easier when assessing one file than multiple files.
Thank you. We'll appreciate also the guidelines in terms of now, for example, the number of pages or what you expect. Thank you very much.
Chapter 1 to 20, it will be one file. 21 to 20, 25, 55, one file. Chapter 1 to 20, as we said, it is you making the synopsis. It can range from a quarter page per chapter to a 1 page per chapter. So it doesn't disqualify anybody, even if we are going to have quarter for every page for 25 chapter, the 20 chapters. It just depends on what you have made it as a synopsis on your side.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you cannot make a synopsis of 3 pages and the chapter is 3 pages. That doesn't make sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
And now that we have a lot of time here and an exam that is coming for the discipline inquiry, and then you also have enough time to finish up your chapter 1 to chapter 3 before you go for your semester, so that your semester is light. It's just learning the remaining 5 courses. All right. Thank you so much, Gibson. And then, and then Vincent, I think you had responded, and then Agnes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor, for this. One day I'll be telling my colleagues and other people that I learned leadership and management at the feet of Professor Ayiro. I know that's a very big flex. Anyway, there's something. There's something that when you were talking about accountability that maybe I thought I could add. Accountability is not just bottom up, but it's also top down and it's also horizontal, peer to peer. And there's something that sometimes when I look at our country, we tend to look at accountability from the lens of money. We look at it from the point of view of has money been used correctly or not. But ever since we started this policy class, sometimes I look at policies and I wonder, is there any accountability for them? Because like when we were in campus, I remember the Ministry of Transport released they had a very good program. They wanted to digitize number plates, and this was way back in 2013. They wanted to digitize number plates. I've tried to follow up on that, and when you look at the way that program was run, I think it was only around 2019 when I saw the next article on the same program talking about how, I don't know, Kenya Prisons is saying who is tolling, the Transport Ministry is saying who is tolling. There is no accountability also on implementation of government policies in some cases. A positive example could be Kenya Railways. Around the same time, I remember Kenya Railways released a very detailed master plan of what they wanted to achieve. And I remember some of the things that we are seeing them doing right now. For example, we are, let's not talk about the financial accountability. Let's just talk about the policy for now. some of the things that I see them do, for example, now they're talking about development of the railway city. They recently launched the railway line from the SGR to the CBD. When you go back to 2012 and 2011 and their plans, you can see very clearly that what they are doing right now is something that they had already envisioned back then. And I think that's a very good example of policy accountability in this country. When you compare those two examples, and they're both from Ministry of Transport, just different sagas and different state departments. And I think that's one thing that we have lost touch of as a country. We allow policies and project plans and the like. We and 5-year plans. We allow them to run without strategic planning. We allow them to run without continuity. And I think that's one of the things that really messes up our planning as a country. There's one person I follow called Ephraim Jenga. He says over the past 10 or so years, it's like our country has been running without a plan. We are actually implementing the things that Kibaki and his team sat down and thought, but we have nothing new that is coming here except what has been coming in the form of budgeted corruption, and vendor driven projects. And I think that's one thing that we should go back to as a country. Policy accountability.
Wow. Gibson, that's very good thinking and analytical and also reflective. And that's why you went through this course on policy and policy analysis. And then accountability and governance, yeah. Over to you, Carol.
Agnes, now we are almost ending.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope I'm clear. I have a question and a comment. First of all, I am very grateful because personally I can say transformation has really taken place. At least I'm viewing leadership from a different dimension, because when we were young professionals, the leadership here Hukoroni would ask us, how can nothing greet something? Those days when you have to stand up despite what you're doing. So I'm really grateful for this transformation. Number two, I'm asking a question in research. There is the theory concept where we were using theory for the conceptual frameworks and about the qualitative and quantitative, but now when it comes to the mixed approach, I didn't really clearly capture it because of the integration of the theory in a mixed approach. Now, do I use one theory? How do I explain one theory in a mixed approach? Or do I get a theory for each approach? Because now that is something I didn't clearly understand. Please clarify. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I want to assure you that before your defenses, we'll do a seminar. But that's a good question. When you have a mixed methods approach, you're not looking at the two so that you look for theories in them. No, you're looking at the variables. Remember, a theory gives forth to the variables of a study. So you're looking at the interconnectedness of the variables. That's where the theory comes in. And so you not need to have, let me say, a theory is value-free with regard to the research design. So whether you're doing qual, quant, or mixed, the theory will be tying up the variables of the study. And that explains why you can have two theories in a mixed method study, but they're not aligned to qualitative or quantitative. No, they are aligned to the interplay of the variables. And similarly with the qualitative, and the positivist approach of quantitative research. So I'm saying, anytime you think about theories, you are trying to see the interplay of the variables, and the theory is helping you to do that. The research design could be mixed, could be qualitative, could be quantitative. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. David will be the last person. I know there are so many things people say. Oh, Vincent, you forgot. You know, you love your hand, so I just said now that. Okay, go ahead then, David.
Thank you so much,
Dr. Ayiro,
thank you
when
so
you
much.
had, David?
Yes, thank you so much. Mine is a word of appreciation to Prof. Ayiro, and also an happiness from my side. For me, throughout my academic journey, this is my first time to be taught by a vice chancellor, and this is only at Daystar University. I know from public university or other university, whether in Kenya or outside Kenya, it is very rare to find a vice chancellor to teach or to go to a class like this. And really, there's nothing that we can say, but only God that will reward Prof. Ayiro. I know it is not easy with a lot of work that you are in. The responsibility of university all with you, but you are now devoting your time, giving us the leadership and all the things. There's nothing that we say, Prof. We really appreciate you and your topic of for us wherever we are. We put you as a topic. Through my colleague, I know there are many colleagues of mine who had also studied at Daystar University. When I tell them that now Prof. Ayiro now is taking us through 2 units, they couldn't believe that. And this is, I don't know how I can express my happiness. Only God will reward you, Prof. Ayiro. Thank you so much. And colleague also, over to you.
I'm seriously touched. Thank you, and be blessed too.
Vincent.
Thank you. David gives voice to the thoughts I had in mind, and I think it is perfectly in order to say a big thank you for the journey that you've taken us through. Earlier, my hand was up because of lining up to read, and I'm glad it has ended up this way. You have been a great, great introduction for us into this program, or an induction for us into the program, holding our hands. And I must admit, your sessions, I think apart from the research, which definitely is structured to allow for ease of follow through, the leadership one has been a beautiful journey, just seemingly unconventional, but packed with many, many years of experience that have strongly, strongly come through. I believe I speak on behalf of many if I say we feel like we know you. I haven't met you personally in terms of physically, but I've met you in the sessions, and the class has been also full of, inflow of your own lived experience, a lot of vulnerability in the sessions, a lot of personal examples, a lot of examples from the institution in every session. And I think the lesson today crowns it very beautifully for me when you move our attention using Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions of a team, and you move, or you broaden, you actually don't move, but broaden our attention as leaders, not to be totally caught up within the domain of strategy, skills, and the structure and technical stuff, but to become masters of human behavior and to be able to relate with humans as human beings. Because when I look at the pyramid, all the first 4 elements, the foundational elements that prepare us for results, which is at the 5th level, are very much grounded in a mastery of human relationships and human behavior. And I think you have exhibited that in how you have conducted the sessions, how you respond to questions, how you handled our work, And I just want to say thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. I am praying for the next set of professors that the shoe is big and our expectations are going to be very big in the next semester. Thank you, sir.
I'm sure they live up.
Right.
But Vincent, I'm flattered, and you have just refreshed my heart. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Yeah, yes, there will be. Yeah, the deputy vice chancellors will be taking you, Professor Moniwekesa, just one in the other. So, otherwise, Prof, so many things have been said here.
Dr. Ayiro, kindly, can I just seek a small clarification from Prof?
Sure.
Prof, and thank you very much, Prof, for that outline of the assignments. Now we are in a better position to support the team. The evaluation, Prof, would you like the students to do it as any other assignment where we set them up and they submit an assignment? And,
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's good you have asked, Meshach.
Yeah.
Each of these students will put their name, their registration number, and the score.
Out of 40.
Out of 40.
And a small justification, you had mentioned that, Prof.
Yeah?
Yes.
You had
Yes, and the
mentioned a small justification why.
Don't worry about justification now, because I'll have the assignments.
Good. Then we do a form. Dr.
Yeah,
you
you do a
we
form.
set them a form.
They fill in,
Thank
yeah.
you.
They grade themselves.
Great,
And
understood.
by the way, this has been a great class. I mean, commitment, participation, and I read the tempo of a class from day one. So let them tell us, what do they think they would have gotten? If 40, evaluating out of 40 is tricky, just tell them 100%. Yeah, we will wait down to 40. Out of 100%, what do they think they would score? You get what I'm saying?
Yes, Prof, understood. That's okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier when somebody evaluates themselves out of 100 than out of 40, but it doesn't matter for us.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Good, Meshach, that's good. I think that brings us to the end, and nawatakia kila laheri. Please prepare for the exam on Saturday. So on Saturday, you have 50 multiple choice questions from chapter 1, 2, and 3, research methods, and give them your attention. I think I'll tell the people administering to give you, a maximum of 1.5 hours, so don't rush. Every mark counts. Yeah.
I think Dr. Ayiro had dropped, but I can see she's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much.
Good
Thank
night.
you, Prof.
Bye, Prof.
Good night.
Sorry, I fell off. I hope you finished well. Yeah, my internet went down. Did it end well?
Very well.
Yes, it was so
Yes.
good.
All right, so we see you and we'll talk about assignment submissions. I think, Meshach, we can have probably by mid-April, so that we have all the same. It's good for you just to clear, so that you don't have to bombard yourself with the rest. So we can have you submit by mid-April. But the other one for marking yourself, Meshach, what you can do is open up a page so that everybody will submit their score. I don't know how we'll see how we can structure that. And for the rest of the assignment, we shall open for both of them for mid of April so that you can just submit your work. Is that okay?
Thank you. That's all right. Thank you.
Okay, good night and good day. Bye.